went in with just one established ruckman today in Tyrone Vickery and Polak backing up as well. They were determined most of the game, Richmond. That was the best and most competitive effort we've seen.
Level halfway through the last quarter.
And then got beaten by 50 points, which is unthinkable. But at least they tackled hard. They had 27 tackles in the first quarter. They looked like a team that was committed to having a go. They're light on for talent, we know that. And at one point there, Neil Craig looked like he was in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, well, make no mistake, up until that 15-minute mark of the last quarter, the Adelaide Crows weren't any better. They were struggling the whole way through the night.
I think it's what Damien Hardwick's been looking for all year, this level of intensity and effort from his players, and because that's what you build a club on. It's not the player you build a club on, it's the actual effort and intensity and the type of brand of how you play. And Richmond, for the first 3 quarters, especially their opening, it was just sensational. Now, if they can bottle that and just demand that level all year, they're going to be on the right path.
The players before the game branded it a grand final. It was a grand final for them. And Brendan Gale spoke with Jared Healy on Fox Sports before the game, and they talked about that. Unfortunately, they didn't win. I think a win would have just transformed that footy club. I know it's only one game. Unfortunately, it all did all fall apart at the end. But, you know, and Revolt did a couple of things. But unfortunately, when you've got, you know, Ben Nason and little Robin Nahas as your 2 main guys who are going to be, you know, up the forward line, you're not going to win.
Look at the scoreline there. Level, 15 minutes to go, and I suppose the only downer, and I agree with everything that's been said, is the way they dropped away. 50 points in half a quarter of footy against a side that hasn't won the game is ultimately not going to be...
Snap from their slumber, though, the Crows. You just wonder what this could do to their confidence.
That's what I was going to say, because in that last quarter, it all came back to them. And, Tomo, there's times in the last 4 or 5 weeks where those Adelaide Crows players would have been looking at each other and going, how did we possibly win games last year? Because all the things that just automatically came to them in that last 20 minutes, it was the ball use, it was contested footy, it was hitting blokes on the lead, converting opportunities. Tippett's been ordering this area, and I agree with you. I think a little light bulb and a switch will have been flicked, and they will get enormous confidence from this victory today.
They've been trying a lot of different things recently, different training methods, different preparation methods, different meeting agendas and etc. to try and get that ignition. But I think all they did today is they had a really hard, tough-fought contest for 3 quarters and then started to play on it immediately. They took some enormous risks, some things started to click, and all of a sudden their energy started to build, and they finished it off magnificently. And once again, if they can continue that on to next week, well, sky's the limit for them too.
Trouble brewing off the field, Caroline. You reported, your paper, the Sunday Age, reported today that Gary March was under siege, Tiger board under attack, with several people, mostly nameless, queuing up to replace Gary March, the president, who's been there for the best part of 6 or 7 years, but most of them as president.
Look, I'm not surprised this story has come out. I'm not aware of any specific challenge to Gary March, I must say, and the article by John Perrick sort of mentions perhaps an influential former player. I think Gary March is probably...
Who do you think that'd be?
Well, I hear that Jeff Rains has been... People have approached him or he's been talking. I can't imagine Jeff Rains.
Should he go, Gary March?
Look, I don't think he should now. I think the last thing the club need now certainly is a challenge. Or, I mean, the last thing they need is any instability. They've got to stay together. They've got to stay focused and united. I think Gary March would probably know that he's not there for the long haul, though. I don't think he'll be there to see the next Richmond premiership. I don't think he's to blame for many of the club's problems. He was on the board when a lot of mistakes were made. He attempted to rectify them. I think perhaps... there's a feeling that they need a really strong and wealthy and just a Richard Pratt type perhaps in the next few years. But I don't think that time is now, Gary.
Hard to find though, aren't they?